Lovely Austin 1300 here, Mark III. Done under 40,000 miles apparently, this one. That's a Volvo Amazon. It's an interesting one. This is a Peugeot 205, not the GTI, but the GT. K-Reg 1992. That's an Austin A90 Atlantic. Probably thinking, what sort of engine are we going to see in this one? And we probably weren't expecting to see. Nice little Triumph Vitesse on the end here. Van variant of the Austin A35. Little old BSA on the end there. Morris 2500 weight, Z-type. Hi, thanks for joining me. So you're finding me in Taunton in Somerset in the southwest for the WSRA Steam Fair. As the name suggests, this is an event that covers all aspects of vintage machinery. We're here specifically, obviously, because we are a classic car channel, to have a good look at the cars, and there are some lovely cars here. But also we've got the sort of classic traction engines, tractors, motorcycles, cycles, commercial vehicles, you name it, it's here. I'm gonna certainly use the main part of the video, or the first part of the video, to look at the classic cars, but I will endeavour to take a bit of footage of the other events that are going on here so people can get an idea. Okay, so we kick this one off with a rather good looking Corvette on an F registered. So probably around the 1968 sort of era. Modern classic Mitsubishi. Austin 10. Austin Healey Frog Eye Sprite. Came into the market around the 1959 area. Obviously the predecessor to the MG Midgets. Lovely Austin 1300 here, Mark III. Done under 40,000 miles apparently, this one. This apparently is the original upholstery. Next to that we've got a Ford Consul Capri. Seen this one a few times before. Very stylish looking coupe. Morris half-ton van. I think that's a Wolseley 1660. Rover P4 100.
And I rushed and I grabbed the bike and I rushed and just bought an ice cream. But it was hard, it didn't have any of the so cool.
That is cool. Yeah.
In Driving Empire they have that car.
Cadillac. Good looking historic car. The standard Avon. Restoration pictures on the seat. Morris 1000 with a difference. Roof lowered. No idea what's going to be under the bonnet, but can't imagine that's a 948 A series engine. Talking of engines, it's actually a Rover V8 in a Mercedes. Beautiful fixed head coupe E-Type Jaguar. Three huge SU carburetors. It's a very nice looking car. Cadillac on the end, a Fleetwood. Always interested in looking at American cars. It's a very comfy place to sit, doesn't it, on a long journey. Affectionately nicknamed Ruby, this one. Beautiful weather here today. Sun's out. Nice little Triumph Vitesse on the end here. This is the one with the 2 litre 6-cylinder engine. MGB GT. Got that classic Webasto fabric roof and a Ford Prefect. That's a nice looking car. Lots of photographs again showing a restoration. Ford Cortina. I think this apparently is an imported car. It's got a 3 litre V6 engine. Another little Austin Healey Frog Eye. Pretty maroon colour. It's a BMW, would you believe? BMW Royale. I think that's a new one to me. Very interesting looking car. With its enclosed rear wheel arches. Royale 327 convertible. Very interesting. We have a Morris 1000, a great little Austin 7 commercial. Because that's classically the type of thing that would end up at shows like this, being a sort of steam fair. Bancroft Motor Factors, Bath and Bristol. Another cool little Morris 1000 and a cabriolet version besides it. TR7 convertible. That's a Volvo Amazon.
Minature have one on building site. car the other day, me and Paul.
1970 Volvo 131 Amazon. MG magnet. Another TR7. Always had very colourful upholsteries, these cars. Volkswagen Golf. Morris Traveller. And an RS2000. No show would be complete without an RS2000. Looking very standard, which is good news. We do like to see standard.
And he's also then taking on call that week. Yeah. And then the week after.
Another TR7 convertible. Beautiful old Morris Cowley. I think that is an Austin 10. Morris 1000 again, or the Cabriolet variant. Triumph TR6. That's a Singer. Must confess to not knowing a great deal about that model. Looks like it sort of comes from that sort of MG, TD, TF sort of era. Beautiful Morris Traveller again, with all its wood looking in pristine condition. Well, it's obviously some sort of Daihatsu. Got a little badge saying Lady Diana. Obviously looks like it's some sort of fiberglass body. Another charming little Austin 7. Do like looking inside Austin 7s. Now this is a sort of more aged, non-restored looking one, which we always like. I mean, I'm sure it's been restored at some point in its life, but very good. And a little car very dear to my own heart is the Austin Healey Sprite. Looking very original. So this is the version that would have the roof stowed away in the boot rather than folded up. You see it's got a slightly shorter cockpit than the later ones. And of course these around this time were probably 1098cc, although it wasn't long before they went into the 1275, but I think this could sort of almost be a 1098, just missing that change point. Not sure what sort of Austin that is. It looks to be a Morris 8. Affectionately named Millie. I've got my little midget here today. Beautiful day for driving a car like that here. She's a 1972 in aqua, which is quite a rare colour. We'll see another car in aqua in a minute. Next to that we've got the Hillman Husky, little 3-door stake vehicle. Herald next to it. Not 100% sure about the model of this one. Looking at the wheel trims, I believe it is some form of Daimler. Looks like she's just getting to that stage where it looks like it could do with a little bit of love and attention to bring it back up to scratch. That's an Austin Healey 104. Now I've wrongly said this is a 3 litre in the past, but I'm informed that it's actually a 2.6 Austin Healey 104. Wolseley 6. And there we have an Austin Healey 3 litre. I think with that other one, I've seen it so many times over the years that I've almost got it set in my head that it's an Austin Healey 3 litre without even really looking at it. Yet another Morris 1000 Cabriolet, an MGB with the rubber bumpers, the Roadster. There's our little Lotus Elan. Always like this one, see this one a lot. Got that classic two-tone going on. Very pretty little sports car. If I had to swap the midget for something of a similar nature, it wouldn't take a lot for me to do the deal on that one. Trouble is, he probably won a fair few thousand as well. Another one of these big Rover P4s. Triumph Vitesse. And this is an interesting one. This is a Peugeot 205, not the GTI, but the GT. K-Reg 1992. These had like a 1400cc petrol engine. Looks a very standard car. Nice to see it hasn't been sacrificed. That's an Austin A90 Atlantic. That's not a common sight at all, is it? Sorry. Very unusual shape. Looks like a little Ford Pop. Attracting a lot of attention there. More Morris thousands. Right, little Austin A35 for sale. Good looking little car. Obligatory picnic basket on the back. Now it's interesting, I've often misquoted A35 and A30. So the Austin A30, which is a very similar looking car, typically would have a chrome grille, not a painted one with a chrome surround. And that back window is a lot smaller. So the A35 came afterwards. You can see this window goes right across. If that was an A30, it would be a much smaller. window and the engine sizes. They started to put in the bigger 954s and later the 1098 engines, whereas an Austin A30 typically had like an 800 and I think it was 803cc. So we're looking at a Triumph GT6, very good looking car. And again, an old Ford Popular.
This is another one of my favourite cars ever. See that little orange one?
Austin 7. Probably one of the last of the Triumph car range, the Triumph Acclaim.
Yeah, much better.
I think that's a Wolseley 1660. And next to that we have a Morris Traveller. That's in the same colour as my little car, my little midget. Aqua. It's a beauty.
The model was known as the Chummy.
MG Magnet. Another little Austin 7. Ford Escort Mark II. Got that classic cross-flow engine. A little Triumph Herald. Rover 2000. Rodney the Rover apparently. Ford console. Lots of history on display. And this is a Robin Hood. So it's not a Caterham 7 or a Westfield. It was a similar type of vehicle in a 7 look, but it was done with like a monocoque rather than a space frame with aluminium riveted to it. Consequently, it's a lot heavier. It's got exactly the same look.
Oh, this one's got 3 wheels, Harry.
He's nice, isn't he?
It's got 1 wheel on the back and then another wheel on the front.
Little Morgan 3-wheeler. MGB GT. This is quite nice. This is a Nova, Vauxhall Nova, G-Reg, back in the 1989. Looking very original other than the alloys. Nice to see something other than a GTE or an SR being well looked after. Seen this one a few times, the Edsel. Huge American estate vehicle. Another little Austin vintage car, Austin Arrow. Initially was going to say it was some sort of Austin 7, but I'm not sure, it looks a little bit bigger. So there is the Austin A30, and straight away look, we see the chrome grille rather than the painted. And we see that much smaller rear window. But other than that, very, very similar looking. In theory, would have a smaller A series engine.
Yes, XIE.
That's an Austin 7.
Maybe a Polish. What's that
MGB GT. That's not a Fiat 500, that's a Gestava. Don't know a huge amount about them, to be fair. Volkswagen Golf. Another Morris 1000 Traveller. Triumph Herald. Looks in a very sort of used condition. I don't mean that disrespectfully. It's still in great shape. Interesting, it says Herald 1500 and it's got twin exhausts coming out the back. Sorry folks. Cool. No, it's all right. I suppose that might have the sort of later engine that they fitted in the Triumph Spitfires and things. Tail end of the 1970s. Guessing that's probably an Austin Cambridge. That's a Spartan kit car. Apologies if they ever did do a production run. Another big P4 Rover, early Triumph 2000, later Triumph 2.5 litre, estate vehicle. That's the Rally 1500. Now that's an MG, I want to say possibly a TD. TC. TC. There was a bit of a series of those cars that run TC, TD, TF. They're all fairly similar. Got the Ford Granadas. Jaguar Mark II. Another Morris 1000 Traveller. Almond green. Right, we're into a gathering of minis, classic minis. That one was a special edition called the Checkmate, and so was the red one, ironically. That was the Flame Red. Wolseley Hornet beside it.
My first car.
Of course, it had a sister car, the Riley Elf. A couple of little mini mokes. Yeah, very eye-catching paint on the. I think that's an Open Classic. Mini Special. That was around the 1979 area. I remember when these came out, because they were the first sort of production car to put wheel arches on. And of course those wheel arches were a genuine Leyland part at the time, and that became a very, very popular accessory for every young man looking to modify the look of their Mini, me included. That's a Mini Countryman. Again, we've got the wood veneer going on, a bit like the Morris Travellers. I suppose technically we'd call this the Mini Traveller. We have a little gathering of Reliant cars here. Of course, we had the Reliant Robin, and I guess was it the Reliant Regal. Ford Escort Mark II, 1600 Sport. Being kept nice and original. Of course, you can't really go wrong with Mark II Escorts at the moment. Slightly more sedate form of transport.
On YouTube tonight then?
We have a Morgan.
Okay. Yeah. To be fair, when they brought that out, it was well, it was
Triumph Spitfire 1500. MX-5. Mighty Ford Galaxy. Huge interior, big bench seat. Always fascinates me when you see the old motorsport racing videos, when you see these things racing Mini Cooper S's and things. Of course, this tends to pass the Mini on the straight and then get taken out on the corners. Always an intriguing battle. Triumph Dolomite Sprint. Got those classic Sprint wheels. Just thinking we're expecting to see a wood grain dashboard, which we are. Jaguar XJS. Convertible. Reliant Rialto. Austin Maxi. This particular one's owned by a good friend. He's had it for a number of years. Of course, very, very roomy car back in its day. And we have an Austin Cooper S. It's looking fairly original. Sure, that colour's called Island Blue. It's got the nice period mini light wheels. It's a Mark 1 Cooper S. That's very nice. Of course, getting hugely valuable. Slightly tired looking Mini with a Nissan twin cam engine by the looks of things. Mini Moke. That's a Moke Californian, which is like a copy. Good old rally Mini here, look. It's got all the gear in it. Another Mini Traveller. Got every accessory that was ever done. And a little Mark III MG Midget, similar to mine. Round wheel arch version. Big Chevrolet pickup truck. It was interesting with this midget. I did speak to the owner a few weeks ago. It's a round wheel arch which came out in around the 72. Of course, Jay was 71. We were having a little bit of a conversation how it might have ended up with the round wheel arches. Whether it was converted, whether it's been reshelled, which I'm sure went on in abundance. Probably we'll never know. Morris 8. Some sort of mini pickup that's been converted into an ice cream van. Must admit, I could do with one of those right now. I think that's called a Ford 8. Ford Model 8. This is an interesting looking Ford Anglia. You're probably thinking, what sort of engine are we going to see in this one? And we probably weren't expecting to see a Duratec ST engine. I mean, it's a beautiful car. It's been very well done. It's obviously being kept in that sort of sleeper style vehicle where it looks like it's all very standard. But I'm guessing those Focus ST engines put out about 170 brake horsepower. Lovely old Ford Pop. Got a little bit of patina going on. Jaguar XK. Jaguar XK 140. Have a little look inside. Beautiful. Haven't seen many Beetles here today, but there we go. H registered, so around the 1970 era. A few Volkswagen transporters. Split screen one at the front here. One for sale there, look. Got the big expandable roof. £5,000. Looks like it's got some bodywork going on. There we have another Beetle, the 1303. One of the later transporters. A couple of Volkswagen Carmen gears. Two slightly different versions. Very stylish in their day, weren't they? Very sleek. That's a different variant. I think that's called a Carmen Gear Razor. Got a slightly different look going on. Morris 8. Not sure on that one. It's obviously a Morris. Triumph TR4. MGB Tourer. J 1971. And another Morris 1000 Cabriolet. And a little commercial van variant of the Austin A35. I think they had slightly more uprated engines from what I can remember. I think they generally were about 50cc bigger than the car counterparts. Californian, that's a Moke variation or a Moke copy. That's an interesting conversion on a transporter. Triumph Herald convertible. Very, very, very good looking MGB GT V8. I think we've seen this one a few times, owned by a friend. It's an Austin Westminster. Very smart in the black. Little Roadster. Another MGB Roadster. Triumph GT6 with the bonnet up. the big straight 6 2-litre that we were talking about earlier. MG. Ford Cortina 1600E. Little special edition Mini. That's the Mini Neon. Had one of them myself, I think J from memory. Around the 91 area. And here we have a little lineup. Austins, various versions. Austin Kempton Sports Saloon. I think you can tell I'm reading that off the grill. So that's the Austin 10 Drivers Club. So I'm guessing they are all variants of the Austin 10. Austin A35. That's a little MG midget. Austin A35. Little MG M-Type. Dates back to about the 1929, 1930 era, that one. The Morris Minor. Rover 2200 SC, sorry, SC, single car, not TC. Well, I think that's it for the classic cars. I think we've seen everything there. As I said at the start, I am going to go and have a look at the traction engines and certainly the motorcycles. There look to be some very, very nice motorcycles, perhaps a glimpse of the tractor side of things. So obviously, if you do want to have a little look at the other aspects of this Steam Fair, then watch on. And once again, thank you for viewing. Okay, so we're going to have a little wander along the motorcycle display. Little old BSA on the end there.
Let go all of a sudden, I'm pulling it, just as I'm pulling it. And the bike shed's behind me, like, so I had nowhere to go, like, so I'm trapped between you.
Interesting little three-wheeler there, dating back to 72.
My missus, yeah, she said no, couldn't be,
A Royal Enfield Bullet. A couple of old vintage mopeds. Little push. Early Honda. Harley Davidson Grand Prix Racer 250. I'm certainly a little bit limited on knowledge on motorcycles, but as promised, I thought I'd just have a little look. A couple of early Triumphs, Lambretta, Honda 90, I do remember those. Aerial. Little Vespa Piaggio moped. This good old Vespa scooter. Another relative to the Honda 90, the Honda 50. Couple of beautiful Velisets in the middle here. BSA Bantam. It's almost a bicycle, isn't it? Talking of bicycles, got some proper old school professional racing cycles here. Display of the guys that take the blood. Fantastic job they do. Honda CB200. Now I do know the one next to it. It's got an NSU Quickly. I do remember my brother having one of those in the 70s. Norton, Sunbeam, I do know this little one in the middle here, it's called a Mobilette. Mobilette Motor Bacane. Remember my dad bringing home one of those to let me borrow temporarily whilst my slightly more peppy sports moped was sorted with an insurance claim. I can remember seizing it up, trying to chase my mates on their slightly quicker bikes. Day one, he wasn't best pleased. These certainly I'm very familiar with. These were my sort of era. The Suzuki GT bikes. Of course they did various versions, GT 250. Remember the GT 750 of course, which was very popular. The old Yamahas, the RDs.
Got a lot of bikes.
It's a popular one, the RD 350, that's the water cooled. Some old fire brigade vehicles with Land Rover Series 3 around the 73 mark. Good old vintage fire tender with Dennis. Another Land Rover. Just passing some of the vintage lorries. Immaculate old Bedford removal van. Morris 2500 weight Z-type. Some old Bedford vans. I think these were the CFs. Seem to remember having a horse box of that variety once back in the day. Early Ford Transit. Carrier Bantam, never heard of that before. Good old Morris 1000 commercial, and of course the classic minivan. Seen this one a few times about. Post office van. So this is what we call stationary engines. There are dozens of these. Hopefully give you a little sample of these There are dozens and dozens of them, as I say, and the best wheel, I haven't really got the time to go around them all. As you can see, they vary in all sorts of sizes. Some the size of your lawnmower, some the size of a decent van. A few interesting sort of Romany caravans.
There's a few properties in here. Grass at some points. Keep going, though. They're having a jolly good go. Keep going. Oh, hang on. It's shifting. It's going back the other way now.
So hopefully you can hear me. Just wandering through the traction engine section now. Of course, also very popular are miniature copies of these, which basically are exact replicas of their larger counterparts.
It's almost like there's something else powering you. They pushed it around to the point that it's tossing up.
Nice old classic car there hidden amongst them. Oldsmobile.
Keep pushing, keep it coming, keep it coming. Okay, we're going to give it another pull now. You're going to go back the way you were, back through a tug of war, ready? Okay, you guys are going to pull. And old Tim's going to pull against us. Grab onto the rope, lean in, dig your feet in, lean back, ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Thank you very much. See? They've got it again. This is what happens when you survive on a diet of Haribo and fruit.
Just walking into an area dedicated to Land Rover. So we're seeing all sorts here, ranging from the later Defenders. Lots of Series 2, 2As, Series 3. A couple of military versions here, look. I think that's a Series, yeah, that's a Series 1, 1954 it says. 107 utility, 107 would refer to probably the wheelbase. One of the interesting factors to distinguish between the 3s and the sort of earlier 2s and 2As is where the position of those headlamps are, whether they're actually in the wings or actually in the grille. Early days they were obviously set in the grilles. The Series 1 certainly seem to have these extended doors. You see that we've got this extra extended bit with the higher position window. So just walking into an area obviously dedicated to the tractors. We've got all sorts of activities going on, from chopping wood, lots of old Ferguson 35s and the old T20s, the grey ones. And out here in the main arena, we've got a ploughing demonstration going on. Looks like the tractors are all getting ready to probably go off into the ring. You can see them filtering out at the end. Don't think I've seen so many vintage tractors in one space before. Alice Chalmers, Grey Fergies, 35s, Ferguson's, Massey Ferguson 35s, 165s. They're definitely all here. Couple of Fordson versions at the end. Fordson Major, which was the bigger one. Of course, they did the Dexter, the Super Dexter. I think if you like vintage tractors, this is an excellent place to come. Don't think I've seen so many in one space before. What's interesting about this venue is it's actually situated on a working railway line. And they have actually had a little brake van doing train rides up and down a length of the track here locally. Lots of little miniature displays going on, different areas. This is the main spectating area. Obviously a big show ring where we can see the tractors going in.
Sometimes with their tractors, but we'll try not to bore everybody to death as they walk away. Followed by an international, and I expect this is a B275. I can't actually see from here.
Lots of craft stores. It's a bit like a county show almost.
Again, this is
selling clothing and
this happened last year.
food,
It's got
of
no
course.
model on the side. I would guess it's an 880, but I'm not 100% sure.
No, indeed.
If you look beneath the bonnet, you can see a shield over the exhaust pipe, which tells me it's a petrol TPO one, so that it doesn't.
There we go, lots of craft stands. This is a massive food hall. Certainly plenty for the whole family to do here. So here we see some of the miniature traction engines.
Yeah, she's getting really hot now. Yeah, now she can breathe, it's getting really hot.
Amazing attention to detail. On obviously a much smaller scale. But I guess the engineering principle is pretty much the same. Very smooth running.
But these people with cars don't really want to have much.
I did actually have a little look online, funny enough, just to get an idea once about the values of these things. And a lot of these small replica traction engines can be 20,000-30,000 plus. And the real big ones that we saw earlier can be into the hundreds of thousands. Of course, they're very popular, these, with giving the children a ride. There's two things that strike me when I look at the traction engines, both big and small, is the smell. Beautiful sort of smell of the burning engine, burning coal, and how quiet they are. They run so smooth. Some of them, even the big ones, you can hardly hear. There's a classic outfit that's put together, obviously, to give the children a ride. Well, there we go. So I think that is pretty much it from the WSRA Steam Fair and Vintage Vehicle Fair. Thanks once again for joining me. Don't forget, subscribe, give us a like because it always helps the channel. I mean, I can't say I'll be looking at too many more steam engines going forward, but obviously classical cars, which is what the channel is all about, is pretty much a surefire. Okay, thanks once again.